but it's time to introduce our first player here in our first set of the second series of today. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Romanticide is the red Terran player. He is BYUN.
And spawning here at the top left side, he's the blue Protoss. It is Harding. Now, pretty interesting that the first two players of our first semifinals, between Zest and Solar, were on teams, current teams. This second semifinals, however, both these players are actually currently teamless.
Yep.
Now, BYUN, of course, has been teamless for quite some time. I think Parting, though, on the other hand, was he just... I forget which, if he was on a recent team or not.
Recently, I think he was on a team. I don't quite remember, though. But, like, both these two players are kind of the solo kind of personalities. So, it's not really too hard to think that these two players kind of prefer not to be in a team. Even though I feel like teams are amazing and should be a bigger part of StarCraft indeed. There's nothing wrong with a player such as BYUN, who has kind of always preferred to be teamless.
Alright, we do see BYUN is going to go ahead and actually make his CC on the high ground. Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. That's a very defensive choice. And once more, it's just coming back to what is the usual expectation how this game will go. One of them, BYUN, will play very defensively. The other party will play very aggressively. BYUN knows that his opponent shines brighter when he's playing a very aggressive kind of PvT style. And he wants to give as little chances as possible for party to let his aggressive playstyle shine.
Yeah, we gotta remember that these players have known each other for quite some time. They go way back, and so BYUN kind of knows the playstyle, the general playstyle of Parting, a bit more of an aggressive player compared to other Protosses. And but on the other hand, though, it looks like BYUN going for a proxy starport, and this is actually gonna get scouted out by the adept of Parting. Unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Parting was having full map control. He was just scouting everywhere for something. And rightfully so. Finding a starport. And BYUN is gonna just have to kind of shift his plans because he's already making 4 aliens. And aliens don't do much without a starport.
Oh, we do see a full wall off here for Parting. Very smart. Will kind of save some of his probes from being killed by those Hellions. So really well done there by Parting.
Yeah, he's right now gonna keep part of his army back. And he's gonna get Link and Robo, just not really playing that weird as I was expecting. Still gonna begin building a pylon here in the bottom side of the map. But BYUN shifting his plans as well. Gonna get kind of a 2-1-1 build, it seems, with an earlier second Rex. And he's gonna drop the bunker in the natural just to be overall safer. Not gonna have a Cyclone or an early tank, so makes a lot of sense for him to do so. While Parting is starting to warp in quite a sizable amount of Stalkers.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna go for a Blink Stalker pressure here. He does have the hallucinated Phoenix to help him get the high ground, but also he does, again, have that Robo, like you mentioned. Will be able to make an Observer later on to get permanent, more of a permanent vision on the high ground. But anyhow, looks like Blink is about to complete.
Oh, and with this hallucinated Phoenix in the main, he's just gonna blink into the main base of BYUN, and he's gonna start getting some kills, it seems. That's a bunch of Marines and Marauders without steam over there. Not gonna be the greatest army to defend against this amount of Stalkers. Blinking forward, gonna get the Marauders so for free. And even Marines gonna struggle against these high amount of Stalkers. A bunch of SCVs are falling left and right. And now the Medivacs are under attack. There's still one more blink to get the last Medivac. But he's not gonna need that. Getting the Medivac and blinking away. And BYUN is so behind right now.
Yeah, I mean, man, the micro of those Blink Stalkers, Parting is so good with them. Now, keep in mind, there is no Dirt Nexus behind this, so, I mean, if BYUN loses a few workers here and there, I think he's still okay. He does have, I think, yeah, he does have a Mules, of course, but he's got to be careful not to lose too much, as it could snowball very, very soon.
Oh, and I think he's already snowballing quite a lot. Just take a look at the resources lost. BYUN losing triple the amount of resources that his opponent has been losing with these blink plays, and it's getting scary really, because Parting as a transition, it's gonna drop down the Fur Nexus. He has a Robo Bay, he has a Forge, he has Charge. Everything is gonna be so smooth and quick on Parting side. And that's a time where you kind of never want to be behind in supply with a Protoss player.
Looks like BYUN is going to go ahead and go for an attempted drop here with the Medevac. He's got to be careful though. He knows that there are Blink Stalkers out on the field, so one wrong move and it could get sniped very, very easily. I really love this map vision that Parting has kind of set up for himself with this Observer as well as these Stalkers kind of being on the edge, knowing that the potential of drops are out there. And he does grab sight of that drop there on the right side. So he is already set up here to snipe it down.
Yeah, just waiting for the right moment to blink. BYUN is gonna pay a lot of attention, unluckily for Parting. And even that amount of firepower wasn't enough to snipe down this Medivac. But man, that was very close. And look at this Stalker in the top right being very cheeky, waiting for the Medivac to fly back.
Yeah. He's injured it enough so that he can just snipe the Medivac with just one Stalker. Of course, he's just going to have to continuously babysit the minimap just to make sure when that Medivac is on the move. But yeah, I think we'll definitely keep an eye on that Medivac for sure.
Yeah, it's actively, like, right now blocking 10 army supply out of BYUN, so it's kind of a feat, because right now both players not considering that one Medivac even in supply, and it's kind of great for Parting more so than it is for BYUN really. He's gonna establish the Terran player, he's gonna establish a very defensive position, he's gonna get a Fur base, a Parting dropping down a 4th Nexus, getting all the tech he needs, and oh, this is getting uglier by the minute for BYUN.
Well, he does have an army supply lead as well. He does got the 1-1 upgrade on them. So, you know, at the meantime, you know, he's still pretty good on the army front. We do see that the +2 has started for Parting, but it's a long ways to being done. So maybe if BYUN can attack in the next minute or so, he can probably do some good, decent damage, but it doesn't look like BYUN is ready to move out yet.
He definitely doesn't look like that. He's more so establishing a defensive position than anything else. Parting not really being aggressive himself though, so it's not really too much harm for BYUN to be a little bit safer. It looks like Parting wants to do something right now. He's gonna have 4 High Templars into that Warp Prism. He's gonna wait for a Storm to be done and maybe start getting some heads on BYUN's side of the map. And the supply is once more tied. Parting on 80 workers. It's gonna start making Immortals as well. And even though +2/+2 is on the way for BYUN, and I also know that BYUN is the kind of player who can win from every scenario, every situation, even when he's so behind. I still feel like Parting has a real clear shot right now once he's maxed out at winning this game.
Alright, we do see Parting looking to move out here. His Storm tech is not quite done, it's almost done. By the time he does reaches the turn side of the map, it should be nearly done. He does have that 4 High Templars hidden, or I guess kind of loaded in that Warp Prism there. So We should see some Warp Prism, High Tempo, and Micro. But it looks like BYUN is going to go ahead and retreat back for the meantime.
It's gonna lose quite a lot of Marauders and Marines by withdrawing with the Blink being so aggressive. On the side, oh my god, Potting! What was that storm? Jesus! Getting so much ahead of himself with the Warp Prism and still keeping it alive. Such a crazy aggressive build. Both Colossi so high in health, turning the High Templars into Archon just to tank a little bit more damage. And this is a disaster for BYUN. Potting! Crazy man. Crazy aggressive play. But man, that worked out for him well. Oh boy, yes it did.
that blanket of storm really devastating there for BYUN. Unfortunately for him, I think BYUN was playing kind of behind throughout the whole game. I think that Blink Stalker attack just did way too much decent solid damage in order for him to kind of climb back. I mean, Parting gave him a little bit of wiggle room, but in the end, he did have the better tech, he did have the better army, and Parting was able to overwhelm the Tavern Force.
Yeah, such a beautiful play. I have no idea how did he get that Warp Prism so ahead and didn't lose anything. He saved all his High Templars, turned 2 of them into Archon, then he lost the other 2, but just after dropping like, I think it was like 4 storms. It was marvelous play from Potting.
Yeah, I think BYUN is kind of known for not going for heavy Vikings. Interestingly enough, you know, even when the Protoss is going for Colossus, like for some reason he just sticks with just MMM for a long time and doesn't really transition into Vikings as quickly as other Terran players would go for or would do. And you know, with the lack of Viking, not only does that lack of anti-air against the Colossus, but a lack of anti-air against the Warp Prism. So, you know, Parting was able to kind of move a little bit forward with that Warp Prism, get those storms on top of the Bio army, and just outright win.
Absolutely. Wonderful play by Potting, but it's a new game, a new story might be written right now. Let's take a look at the player spawning here in the top right hand corner of Pillars of Gold. He's a Red Terran, and he is BYUN.
And spawning here at the bottom left side of the map, he's the blue Protoss player. He's the big boy. He is Parting.
Kind of making a statement in that first game, Parting. Just being overall a lot less how do I say that? Eager than he usually is. Just waiting for the right moment to do the right thing. And it kind of worked out perfectly. That Blink play in the beginning of the game was perfect. And now BYUN is gonna try to bite back with this NG Bay block right at the natural of Parting to just slow down the aggression of the Protoss a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, BYUN, one of the Terran players, kind of bringing this Engineering Bay block kind of back into the meta, and we'll go ahead and delay the Nexus of Parting there. But Parting, of course, going to go ahead and Chrono Boost out that Zealot and start whacking away at that Engineering Bay. Shouldn't lose too much, but if BYUN cancels his Engineering Bay in time, shouldn't lose much either on his side as well.
Yeah, of course the damage dealt is more than the damage taken with an NG Bay cancel. And it's gonna be just a little bit of a slowdown. Gonna cancel that NG Bay. And right now Parting is standing the first depth through the map to get some scouting. But I'd say BYUN has got into a fair defensive spot already, so shouldn't be too scared of anything. And Parting not gonna get a cancel on that command center because it is on the high ground.
Yeah, actually BYUN went for a quicker factory before the CC, so looks like he's looking for some Hellion drops here. I'm assuming, because there's actually, yeah, starport should be thrown. Actually, you know what? Maybe the Hellion drop is going to be a bit late, because usually you want that starport being done and then immediately start making that medevac in order to drop once those 4 Hellions are out, but looks like he's just going to go ahead and poke in with the 4 Hellions. Oh, actually mixing in with some Widow Mines. Okay, I see. Maybe, yeah, he's going to go ahead and poke in.
Multi-prong?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking as well.
Yeah, it is a clever way to just stop partying from being aggressive by being aggressive. So it's gonna be the player on the map in this second map of the series, and with aliens kind of trying to break past the wall, I feel like he's kind of wasting the potential of a multi-prong. Well, he's gonna get into that and lose 1 alien. Is not a bad trade at all. It's a pretty good trade. And what is this zealot doing? That's a brave zealot. Bravest zealot I've ever seen. And he's gonna die for a great cause as well. He's gonna die for some incredibly good scouting information, but that's a very dead zealot nonetheless.
Well, Parting should be able to counter this and shut this down very easily, considering he did scout what's happening here. I should expect more Blink Stalkers, Warpins, and possibly want to go ahead and just kind of completely wall off that front there if you wanted to.
Yeah, problem Blink is not done yet, so this Medivac can very easily slip through if Parting is not careful enough. Looks like Parting is gonna be very well prepared after that great scouting with the Zealot, so no real threat at all. But BYUN is still gonna keep a lot of map control, still gonna keep Parting from getting a third base, and just kind of caging the Tiger for now.
That's a really loud Tiger, by the way. Parting knows how to yell and scream very high in volume, but anyhow, yeah, it looks like Parting is set up pretty well, and I just don't expect too much damage to be done with this War Prism, the Medevac drop with the Widow Mines. He's got the eye on it with the pervy observer there, and right now it looks like both players are just gonna transition into a regular macro game. I should expect Parting to throw down that third Nexus very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about Parting, you wanna know a fun fact?
What fun fact?
Me and Parting have the same microphone.
Ah, nice.
Well, nice for me, not really for him. Like, how does he make this microphone sound that bad? Is absolutely out of my control. Like, I have no idea how he does that. Like, that's a true feat, guys. Like, making this microphone sound bad, it's very hard. You really have to put some commitment into that. So, props to Parting for being such a weird ASMR kind of stream.
Yeah, of course, Parting does stream a lot, so you can always catch him on his Twitch channel.
Oh, the wall is open. Aliens get past, and just as soon as they get in, a Colossus pops out, ready to claim their heads. Very easily worked out for Parting. Just gonna destroy these aliens before they can do anything. But BYUN has a sizable army, and he's not really keeping back for now. He looks definitely like he wants to do something. And he's gonna make his way through the map right now. And meanwhile, the Medivac in the left corner, still there, still ready to drop. The drop is gonna begin. Medivac is gonna instantly die to the Stalkers. And those Widow Mines are not gonna do anything. BYUN, way too eager to do something with that Medivac. Should have waited for the rest of the army to catch up. And now Parting as a kind of a good shot at doing this. Oh, this Starlight Council is very exposed, but there's still a lot of sentries and a Colossus out with this army. Force fields are gonna go everywhere around the army of BYUN, getting a very good engagement. But Parting is still gonna lose a little bit too much. This Starlight Council still under attack. Charge is probably gonna be denied now. The Stalker's gonna get on top of the tanks. This Twilight Council still alive, and Charge is gonna finish with the army of BYUN actually being kind of cleared. These two Medivacs doing such a great job. Micro of BYUN is just crazy good. In the end, It's gonna be a load up into the medivac and another drop into the main. This time a little bit more damage can be caused. There's one tank with this. Probes are falling left and right. The Stalkers are gonna be saved. This micro by these two players is just all over the place. The Colossi are still standing. 2 more medivacs are flying through the map. And no units is in them. Parting gonna get a nasty hold. Gonna lose quite a lot to stay alive. But he's gonna be behind just a little with a way higher tech than his opponent.
Oh man, that was a bit intense there. I mean, but some really great micro by both players. Yeah. I think Parting really kind of lucked out with the kind of the shield battery placement there. Really helped save those Colossus. And now Parting sitting on 3 bases, just now BYUN establishing his third. So he's gonna be a bit behind there, but gotta note that he is ahead in the worker count. He does get the +1 upgrade. We do see Parting really doesn't have any forges out, I don't think. Yeah, he doesn't have any forges, so his upgrade is going to be behind by quite a lot.
Ghost Academy is going to be the most important part of this. Right now, Storm is going to be in a lot earlier than Shockwave EMP. But those EMPs are still going to be clutch in a few next fights. First Ghost is going to be starting in production. But Parting is trying to get his key upgrades to make something aggressive of his own. Gonna get a little bit more I-Templars. Gonna get a little bit more Stalkers and Zealots. He's gonna be having these strong all-around army. But we're gonna see what he's gonna do with that. Because this Warp Prism over here just makes me think more of a Storm drop than a real fight. And I don't really know about that. There's a missile turret just outside the border boundaries of the main.
Alright. There is like kind of a pathway to the third base here for the Storm. Let's see if BYUN can react in time. But here we go. Looks like the Storm has been thrown down, and 6, 8, 9 SCVs being killed there.
At the cost of just 1 High Templar as well. It's gonna force the recall back home. Not a lot of energy on these High Templars. It's gonna be turned into Archons. That's an incredible army by BYUN. These Vikings are finally into the fight, getting on top of one of the Colossi. Shield Barrier Overcharge is gonna be used. And Parting is gonna dive on top of the army of BYUN. Gonna lose so much, but both players are kind of in a pinch right here. The Colossus is still gonna face a lot of punishment out of the Vikings. Shield Barrier Overcharge helps the Archons stay alive. There's 2 tanks still alive with this. Warp Prism getting ahead. And now Charge and Archons are gonna finish the job. And reinforcements are gonna come for BYUN. It's gonna be the last second these Archons are gonna stay alive. And it looks that the reinforcements of BYUN might have cut the deal. More Zealots are gonna be warped in. That's 29 probes into this third base. That's a little bit too much. Not a lot of energy on these shield batteries, and not a lot of army up for fighting to deal with what BYUN is sending through. More reinforcements are coming, more warp pins are happening, but it's not enough for the Protoss. BYUN takes game number 2 of this series.
Some really great engagement there, and BYUN, remember, he had the 1/1 upgrade on those bow units, so very beefy, very good at tanking a little bit extra, as well as dealing out a little bit extra power damage and power output. And some really great engagement. And you know what? BYUN ties up the series 1-1 as we head into our game, our third game on Death Aura LE.
Not the cleanest of games on both sides, but BYUN just clearly played that game better. Just had a little bit more of an idea of how to play this. Parting was a little bit all over the place, not really getting what it should have well, I don't know how to say this. What he should get. And that one Warp Prism drop with the I-Templars was probably a little bit too eager. Having those storms into the first fight, man, that would have changed the outcome of that so much.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if you had some few extra storms during that fight. You might have kind of have evened or at least a little bit better efficient trade there. but instead went for the kind of old school, strategy where you would kind of drop on your opponent's mineral line with those high Templars and storm them. But I think it's kind of better if you do so in the later game where the bases are more saturated in the mineral line. You can get a bit more SCVs with the storms. At that time, BYUN was just establishing his third base, so not quite as many SCVs. Now, granted, there were still a decent amount of SCVs, but I mean, there could have been definitely more packed there if it was the later game.
Yeah. Another game, another story. It's the third set of this series, talking about Death Aura, where in the top left hand corner, the red player spawning a Terran is taking his side, playing for nothing but himself. It is BYUN.
And spawning here at the bottom right side of the map, it is the blue Protoss player. Give it up for Parting. Once again, going for that engineering bait block here at the natural.
Yeah, that's a very interesting play out of BYUN. We've seen it work out so greatly in this second game, so might as well do that again.
And you know what? You can actually, use that SCV to make a bunker behind the mineral line if the Protoss doesn't pay attention. Unfortunately for him, Parting does have some units and that pylon to spot the movement of the SCV, so not going to go ahead and throw down any bunkers behind the mineral line. But we see Parting, on the other hand, might potentially delay the CC there a little bit.
It kind of looks like it. Maybe just a couple seconds. He's coming the second SCV. Not gonna look a lot like it's gonna happen, to be honest. Like, it's gonna be a delay, but let's be honest, not that big of a delay. Oh, and the Pro barely survives as well. As always, BYUN is kind of just not getting the Reaper. Prefers to start his reactor a little bit quicker, and with the NGB block, there's really not many reasons to get the Reaper after all, so BYUN kind of knows how to begin his games. And it does so with what is looking to be like just an average 1-1-1 build. Wait. Alright, yeah, it's gonna be a starport. For a second I was thinking maybe he was gonna drop another barracks. But Parting is really being aggressive with the depth and Zealot, and he's gonna kill 2 SCVs, delaying this command center by quite a bit by now.
Oh man, this is not looking good. That Stalker has arrived as well, so these Marines gonna have to be microed very, very carefully.
Oh boys, that's why you get a Cyclone early on in this matchup, or a bunker, or both, to be honest. It's not like the greatest thing possible. All of the Marines have died, like, okay, he's gonna get the Adept. No, oh, that was such a beautiful dodge with the Shade. And the Widowman is not gonna do anything. And the most beautiful of these all is that Parting is gonna drop 2 more gateways. He has a Dark Shrine halfway through, and he's gonna be making a Warp Prism as well. BYUN is in real danger right now.
Oh no, that's very gonna be very unfortunate here. He's gonna need that engineering bay very, very soon. I don't think even if he made it right now, it won't be in time. So let's see if he throws down those mules. Actually, even if he didn't throw down the mules, he doesn't have any energy for a scan. Oh boy, this is gonna be really ugly. I think all you Terran players out there, viewers, you might want to close your eyes for the next minute or so.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, he's witching the starport with the factory and he's starting a Raven. That's very considerate out of BYUN. But I get this feeling it might be just too late. Yeah. Oh, how much energy? 44 and 45. This could be a hold, but it's gonna be a heavy price being paid for that. That I'm sure. Dark Templar's gonna get into the main, and they're gonna start getting chunks out of these SCVs and Marines alike. One of the Dark Templars is actually gonna fall to the Marines on the other side. It looks like the Warp Prism is in real danger. The Warp Prism is gonna fall. One of the Dark Templars is gonna fall as well. And meanwhile, the Widowmine drop is gonna get 4 probes. Man, did BYUN bite back this game. That was looking so ugly. But he didn't really lose as much as I thought he would lose. Of course, 9 SCVs this early in the game is a huge amount. But he didn't lose much more. And he did get 4 probes on the other side of the map.
I mean, considering the situation, I would say it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Yeah.
So luckily for him, I mean, don't get me wrong. I still think Parting is in great shape. He's still got a decent worker lead. He's got that 3rd Nexus on the way. So, but you know, considering BYUN wasn't able to really scout the DT transition, I think he should be at least somewhat satisfied with his defense.
He's gonna be trying to get a little bit more damage. The Raven is gonna be there in time to just stop this from going all over the place. Warp Prism this time is gonna be safe and alive. But man, losing that Warp Prism before, not the cleanest Dark Templar play I've ever seen. All these. Parting has to be way more careful with these Warp Prisms. Oh. Alright. Gonna get 1 Marine with the Dark Templar. 2 Marines. And head off. Back home, Blink almost done. Extended Thermal Lens halfway through. And to be honest, I agree with you, Parting looking in great shape still. But we've seen BYUN really come back from worse scenarios than this.
Oh yeah, he's one of the players that even if you're ahead against, you do not want to let up, because he can definitely get back into the game, especially with the aggressive playstyle of BYUN, kind of multi-pronging attacking and kind of extending his APM. There's a reason why his risk is at the state is in, because he just Michaels like a madman, and that can definitely sometimes help BYUN get an opening and crawl himself back into the game. So here we go. Looks like BYUN is going to go for a timing push here, some sort of pressure in order to possibly get the cancel on, or not the cancel, but possibly take out this 3rd Nexus, or at least get a nice decent trade here.
There's just 1 Marauder with his army, another one is coming. Concussive Shells is not done. This looks like it's not really gonna be the most effective of attacks I've ever seen. Marines are just kind of gonna melt against these Colossi, and tanks are gonna be the... Oh wow, that's a huge run of shells on top of these Stalkers, but the interference matrix is gonna be even better. Stalkers are gonna focus by the Raven down, but these Colossi are not gonna deal enough damage. Just 1 of them being up. Meanwhile, Widowmine drop, still gonna get damage, still gonna get 4 probes, and BYUN, surprisingly enough, is breaking through even without Marauders.
Oh, but he's got
the Dark Templar, man.
Yeah, he's got the Dark Templar to deal with. I think Parting will hold.
Yeah, it looks like Parting will actually counterattack. Not much really here for Parting to deal significant damage, but this Dark Templar, man, easy dealing damage. This guy has 13 kills. He's been alive since the dawn of time, and he's finally gonna fall. But that's a brave death. Gonna get 1 more tank and even 1 more Marauder before falling down. The Colossi are still up. Another Colossus is gonna show up. The tanks are going down. BYUN not gonna hold. And this is gonna be game number 3. Victory for Parting, and he's gonna go at match point.
Yeah, just those DTs did enough damage there to kind of put BYUN back, and just BYUN wasn't able to kind of come back into the game. He tried to rely on that pressure attack, that one big attack, but Parting smartly actually engaged right in the open in the middle. So kind of bought himself some additional weapons as well. And just really no answer for the DT in the end. So GG. Parting will go ahead and take the series lead 2-1. Of course, this is a best of 5, so plenty of opportunity. Well, I wouldn't say plenty actually. This kind of BYUN is in the back wall. One more win for Parting to potentially clinch the series.
It's been looking rough in the 2 games he lost for BYUN, but I still feel like he is the kind of player who can really bounce back. He can really just get 2 amazing victories one after the other. It's looking rough, not gonna lie. Parting playing like a madman. This last game was just a real big like display of power, of strength. And we're gonna see in this 4th game if that made a dent into BYUN or if it didn't. We're going to go on Oxide, and it looks like the players are ready. I'm not really quite sure why we're not starting. Maybe Parting us for a couple minutes, I don't know.
Yeah, there's some Korean chats in the chat channel, so not sure what they're saying. But on the other hand, that kind of gives us a little bit of time to just want to let you know that there is a matchery note page for this event. It's pinned in the top of the chat box, if you can see. It's the matchery note link. Just head on over there, log in with your Twitch, your BNet account, your Google, your Microsoft, whatever account that you want to log in with. Enter the coupon code AX225. Once again, that code is AX225 to contribute 50 cents to the overall prize pool. Of course, there are the sponsor quests on the right side if you want to go ahead and contribute additional funds. And then lastly, there is the replay packs in the marketplace. If you want all the replays from today's event, you can do so by purchasing the replay pack. I think it's like $3 or $5 or something like that, so not too much. And you have all the replays to yourself. It should be available shortly after the stream ends. But yeah, also, please do consider dropping us a follow on this Trovo channel. We do bring a lot of high level and high tier content onto this channel every week. So if you do like and enjoy all the things that Alpha X brings, please do consider dropping us a follow.
Alright boys, it's game 4 time. We are on Oxide, bottom left hand corner, where the red Terran is currently spawning. He needs 2 in a row, or he's done for. It is BYUN.
And spawning here at the top right side, he's the blue Protoss, 1 game away from moving on to the finals. Can he do it? It is Parting.
Alright BYUN, sending once more an SCV through the map. Are we looking at another NGBA block?
It would seem so. Yeah, I wouldn't imagine otherwise.
Definitely is. And it kind of worked out in both games, so just why not? I'm really curious to see what will Parting do this time though, because all 3 games of his have been very different. Game number 2, of course, didn't really work out in his favor, but this last game, boy, was it a stomp from the Protoss player. Even taking a not a great engagement against the main army of BYUN, he still managed to just kind of overwhelm his opponent. Now Zelda is gonna be made by Parting to kill the NGBA, and it looks like BYUN is gonna go back home, get once more an earlier factory and a later command center.
We do see the Marine from BYUN kind of scouting around here at the outskirts, just checking for any proxies or any you know, kind of loitering probe.
Yeah, not gonna find any, but it's still a good choice to be a little bit more careful. It's gonna be a reactorate factory, mostly for Hellions, it looks like. Huh. And Python is gonna go for Stargate. Both players kind of switching stuff up.
Yeah, interesting. Of course, parting, I would imagine he would open up with either a Oracle or Phoenix. The Phoenix can, of course, help cancel any Hellion drops or anything like that, or maybe even Widowmine drops, but Oracle as well you can use to potentially snipe out some SCVs, but also get some Revelation or plant some Stasis Wards.
Yeah, it's still a great tool to gain control of the map, especially against Terran, race against which it's very important to gain early control. It looks like BYUN is gonna kill the Zealot before he can get any scouting vision. The legend of the brave Zealot is gonna end here, it looks like.
Brave Zealot indeed.
And now BYUN has made his way through the map with these Hellions, and he's probably gonna wait for the Widowmines to just try to do a multi-prong. The wall is open though. Oh wait, it's not. Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, the Stalker fat enough to block the Hellions there.
Yeah, like they're fattening up them to feed in those big walls, it looks like.
Well, you know what? Thanksgiving just passed. People kind of gained a few pounds here and there. So, wouldn't be surprised if that Stalker had a big Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah, just getting half more size to block that entrance to the Hellions, it looks like.
Yep.
Alright, it's gonna be a Widowmine drop coming from BYUN. Gonna be flying just above a Stalker, but far enough for it not to deal enough damage. Sadly for him, there are 3 Phoenixes already getting there before anything can happen. That's 4 lifted Widowmines. Just crazy micro from Potting on his side. Defensive, aggressive, everything you want. These men got it today, guys.
Oh man.
Everything, really. But that was so clean. Such a clean defense. Getting everything at the cost of nothing.
Yeah, that was quite a committed attack there by BYUN, and finding absolutely no damage, that's gotta be devastating.
Yeah, there's already a Viking for defense for BYUN, but this doesn't mean that these Phoenixes cannot just fly past, get damage, fly out. 2 SCVs are gonna be lifted, not enough energy to do much else, and it looks like Potting is gonna sit on 5 Phoenixes before starting out a couple Colossi, and just have this kind of old style, old school, very complete army. While the Phoenixes are shocking for damage, they're gonna find 1 tank, it looks like, but in the end, SCV is gonna be pulled in for repairs, while the rest of the army catches up, and Potting needs to lift that tank B.
I would imagine that BYUN might go for kind of a really strong timing attack, just because with the Phoenixes, yeah, you can live up tanks, but if you can snipe off those Phoenixes, it could actually turn out to be a really, really strong push. So, I mean, it could come down to a really strong engagement to kind of turn back the tides here for BYUN.
Yeah, it could very well be an option for BYUN to just go all out and get some damage done. I feel like he's kind of suffering from his earlier losses, not really getting a lot of medivacs to get that Viking, and Potting is just still getting kills on SCVs with his Phoenixes. It looks like BYUN is kind of struggling to do just what you said. It is kind of clear to me that he wants to go for a timing, but he's gonna be having a little bit less units than he actually wants to have with this.
Yeah, looks like he is going to try a kind of macro behind this as he is throwing down that dirt CC. But you know what? It's really going to come down to this engagement. If Harding can hold off with relatively little losses, it should be Parting's game from then on.
Yeah.
But if BYUN can actually take advantage of that dirt base rock area, kind of get a nice siege up there, maybe even bring some SCVs to make some turrets on the ground to help deal with the Phoenixes, then possibly BYUN can kind of gain back the lead here. Here we go though.
It's gonna be a terribly hard hold for Parting. Very, very difficult army to control. Very difficult opponent to micro against. It looks like BYUN is gonna take the slow path into the fur base of his opponent, dropping down missile turrets and bunkers to be at the ready. It looks like Parting doesn't want his opponent to have the time to do that. Phoenix is diving on top of all of the tanks at once, and these Colossi are melting the Bio army. Phoenixes need to give up these tanks though, and it's just the Colossi left standing. Another charge of Zealots. Phoenix is getting on top of the tanks. Both tanks actually falling. It looks like this is a hole. It did lose a lot of Zealots, but all of these Stalkers are up. 2 of the Phoenixes are still alive, and BYUN is sent licking his wounds back home.
Yeah, and more importantly, Parting was able to save all of his Colossus. He still has 3 of them, and right now he can just transition into maybe Archons or High Templars or even Disruptors. I think Parting has his grip on this game, and right now he is smelling blood in the waters.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to go for the finishing blow. His Viking is gonna try to chase down the Observer, not gonna get the kill, too far away from the missile turret. And now the rest of the army of Parting is catching up. There's a Warp Prism ready to reinforce this location as quickly as possible. And man, these 3 Colossi look such a hard target for BYUN to get to. Alright, the rocks are gonna be the focus for Parting. Another warping of Zealots is gonna reinforce this. It looks like supply depots and bunkers are gonna be trying to get a wall to the tanks, but it's too late. Way too late. Zealots come charging through, and now the Colossi are just melting everything they find in between themselves and the Zealots. 10, 14, 15 SCVs falling down. It looks like most of the Zealots are gonna fall down, but the Stalkers are still standing. Another warping of Zealot is gonna break through. 16 SCVs are gonna die, and Parting is still there, still ready to get damage. Right now, getting on the third command center of his opponent. Warp Prism is gonna unsiege and siege again, probably just a little forward. And now Ghost Economy is gonna be burned down to ashes from Parting. 21 SCVs lost with this, and Parting still there, still warping in, still getting tech with +2 weapons for this ground army. I feel like it is going to be game. Stalkers ready to get a huge position aggressively. These Colossi are still dancing in between the shots of everything sent their way. There are a couple of Vikings, but there's still clearly not enough, I would want to say, to stop these Colossi from breaking through. The wall has been broken. Stalkers warped in once more. The NG Bay is the next target. There's 1 tank with this. 1 tank left standing. The final stand of BYUN begins in the natural of the Terran player. Parting microing his Stalker backwards to save them from the tank. And these Colossi are still not falling. Parting takes game number 4 of the series and brings it all back home. Getting into the finals, we have some PvP action for you guys.
Yep, Parting once again showing why he is such a great player against Terran, really mastering that PvT matchup. And GG, he